are wishing to know more about fishing, you don't need a book, just come and see the hook and the cook. If you are looking to know more about cooking, you know where to look, just come and see the hook and the cook. Scotty will hook 'em, and Paul he will cook 'em.
They like to travel and learn new stuff.
Come and see the hook and the cook.
On The Hook and the Cook, we're always on the hunt for locations with two key ingredients: great fishing and great food. Lucky for us, Fraser Island on the southern tip of the Great Barrier Reef has an abundance of both. But to truly experience all Fraser Island has to offer and access many of its unique attractions, we'll need to hire a four-wheel drive.
Fraser Magic hooks us up with a vehicle and runs through some essential orientation and safety. Driving on sand is tricky and mistakes can be costly, so their expert advice is invaluable.
Just a 45-minute ferry trip from the mainland, Fraser Island is the world's largest sand island and is a haven for adventure. World Heritage listed, the island has some of the best Australia has to offer. Ancient rainforests, large freshwater lakes, fast-flowing streams, and an amazing 75-mile beach highway complete with a shipwreck and cliffs of beautiful coloured sands.
Fraser is also home to some of the world's most ideal fishing conditions and species of fish to suit almost every angler. Recreational fishers describe the eastern side of Fraser as the holy grail of beach fishing, with catches of whiting, dart, tailor and jewfish. But if boat and wharf fishing is more your style, this is best done from the western side, where we'll be staying for our first few days of our trip.
We check into the Kingfisher Bay Resort. It's definitely the place to stay if you want a fishing adventure with a touch of luxury. What makes this resort unique is that they try and preserve the natural setting of the island with an eco-friendly approach. They have their own sewage treatment plant, worm farm, herb garden, and pride themselves on their use of native foods. Kingfisher Bay Resort has set the standard for eco-tourism, and it provides a great base from which we can explore the island.
Well, it's our first morning on Fraser Island, and we had a fantastic night's sleep last night at the Kingfisher Bay Resort. And today we're heading out to fish the Sandy Strait with Mark from Fraser Island Guided Fishing. He reckons we might get a few. It is a tough time of the year, but he said there's also a chance of seeing a few whales. Mark, thanks for bringing us out today. What are we likely to encounter?
Look, it's the end of winter, things are still cold, so the fishing isn't at its best, but we're going to find a lot of little queenies, trevally, and hopefully some school mackerel, and with a bit of luck later on we'll go and fish some of the deeper reefs and try for a big goldie or something.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good. So first up, we're just going to use some little metals.
Yeah, we saw a few small fish busting up here on small bait fish, so I think these small metals are going to match the hatch, Scott, so we'll just throw them around these points here and give it a while and just see what we do. But I see some fish busting up there at 1 o'clock, and Paul's already in there.
Yeah, he's trying to get a fish on me before I get started. So.
He is too.
He's keen.
He is.
Fish on.
Fish on.
Okay, he got one before me.
You said he would.
Yeah. Don't put me in the water, mate. There's some sharks in here.
A swallowtail dart.
Swallowtail dart.
Yeah, very common on the surf beach, these guys. They're actually not a bad eating fish for a small fish. We cook them whole in the campfire and cold, and they come up beautiful if you eat them fresh. Kids love catching them, they pull hard, they're easy to catch on bait.
We keep fishing the picnic islands and catch a few more dart.
Fish on.
Paul's small popper seems to be more effective, and he's now one up on me. But I'm hoping for something a little larger, so I think it's time to head off and try another spot. Well, I tell you what, Mark promised us a few whales, and he hasn't let us down. We've got mum and a baby here, humpbacks. Pretty impressive. Look at that. Humpbacks at their greatest. Well, not exactly the big fish I was after, but it's these kinds of moments that can make the tough day on the water feel totally worthwhile. Mark guides us around all his best spots in Harvey Bay, but despite a good start, the fish just aren't biting. We do catch a couple of remora, commonly known as suckerfish. They're not known for their eating qualities, and since we need something edible to cook up, we have to change our tactics. Earlier this morning during low tide, we noticed large numbers of flathead lies along the beach, indicating plenty of flathead in the area. So with this in mind, we head back and start targeting flathead. I just got hit. Come on, take it.
Got it?
Yeah. Flathead.
Flooded.
Dusky flathead have to be between 40 and 75 centimetres. That one's probably 50 centimetres. Good little eating size. You don't want the big flathead. The big flathead get a bit coarse, but these smaller ones are really good.
Okay, we've had 4 seasons in one day out here today. We had a bit of rain, the sun's been out, Mark's been working extra hard for us. It's been a tough day on the water. We got a couple of dart earlier in the day. We've reverted back to the old method from Botany Bay, just working a soft plastic across the bottom, and we've picked up a nice little dusky flathead. So we might take that one home, Paul?
Yeah, we'll
Back to the Kingfisher?
Yeah, see what the chef can whip up.
After a long morning of trying everything and not having much luck, we hit a good run of smaller fish, including some nice eating sized flathead. Nice little dusky flathead. We're just working a shallow bank behind us here and pick this fish up.
We usually try and hook our fish in the mouth there.
It is,
Paul.
well, you know, coming from New South Wales, we're pretty clever. We can get them in the back for you as well. After we catch what we need, Mark drops us back to the Kingfisher Bay Resort. And on the pier, we bump into Jack, one of the locals. Hank, you've got some big flatties in there.
Yeah, oh, they're not bad
Look
ones.
at these, Scott.
Jesus,
Massive.
you did a bit better than we did.
Oh, well, you know, it's all good fun. You guys got some, so.
Hey?
Yeah, we got a few. We
Few
got these
nice-
off here on live bait.
Yeah,
nice
just
fish.
found off the end there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lovely flathead.
Straight off
Yeah.
Kingfisher Resort.
Yeah, we get them here this September, October.
Yeah.
The brim go off, they're here in winter, and then as soon as it gets warm, these guys come in.
Wow.
So,
What other type of fish would you get off here?
we get these at trevally and brim,
Yeah.
and you know, sometimes the yellowtail kings will come in.
Okay.
It's
They're
a good variety
They're
here.
good fun.
Yeah, oh yeah, they go hard
love
on
catching
light
the
gear.
kingies.
Are you going to tell me how you cook it? Have you got any secrets to cooking it?
Oh yeah, I've got a wife, and I just give it to her.
Well, there you go. You don't need a boat to go and fish off Fraser Island, just off the jetty here at Kingfisher Resort. Look at that. Beautiful flathead.
We take our catch, head back to the resort and drop our flathead off with Kenneth Clapham, executive chef of Seabell Restaurant. The Seabell on Fraser specialises in native foods and bush tucker, which is supplied from their own herb garden. These herbs are the most vibrant and healthy looking herbs I've ever seen. And the flavours definitely pack a punch. The secret behind such quality produce is high-grade fertiliser. You don't expect to see the inner workings of a resort when you come and stay, but here the rangers take pride in their waste recycling plant and run daily tours.
So you've been to one of these treatment plants before?
No, not at all. That's the first time I've been to a poo farm.
Oh, good fun. You're gonna. The worms are very friendly. They don't do anything.
Oh, it's a worm farm we're going to now.
Well, it's a worm farm and poo farm. It's all part and part of the same side of things.
Okay.
We handle the initial stages, and then the worms do the rest, and then the magic happens in the garden.
Wow.
Where you see the big grey pipe coming out, all the liquid waste from the resort is coming through. So everything from down the drains, everything from down the toilet is coming out from that pipe. From that point, it actually needs to go through a separation system because unfortunately not everything that goes through is of a soft nature. It does need through a quick gradient to make sure it's all a sludge grade before it starts going into these large aeration tanks for the next stage and the next process to go through.
What amazes me is it doesn't smell.
That's the thing, and that's when it's operating effectively and operating efficiently.
Yeah.
No sewage treatment plant should smell.
Pretty amazing, really.
It is pretty amazing, and it's taken the concept of your backyard compost heap and made it a big concept.
After the waste has been aerated and processed, the sludge is dewatered through a press, then mixed with organic compost and shredded paper to make the worm food. The worms feed on this mix and convert it into worm castings. Castings are an organic material that have been digested by worms and is an excellent nutrient-rich fertiliser.
This is where the magic all happens.
We continue on to the herb and native plant garden.
This is what you get. So you have Italian parsley here.
Looks beautiful.
It is gorgeous, but you
Yeah.
have to try this parsley. It is the best parsley.
Oh wow!
Look
Look
at
at the
all
colour.
It's then the flavour. I've never been able to try anything just like this.
Wow.
So the colours, the textures, of course you can see they're very healthy little plants. There's no bugs, nothing's been in here to bite them or eat them.
No, it's fantastic.
And of course the flavour.
It's really good.
It is
Yeah,
special.
lovely.
So from good compost, good plants, happy plants. But I did promise you a native, and we do have natives in our garden. And these are finger limes.
Finger limes.
Finger limes. So when you do break them open, the cell structure is like little pearls, like caviar.
Yeah, yeah. They've got a lot more vitamin C than a normal lime. Is that right?
They do.
Because it's such a hard terrain to grow in that they.
It is. They actually concentrate it. So especially the desert limes, they have to pack so much into so little.
Yeah.
Trees can't waste a lot of water and a lot of energy into making large juicy fruit as we're used to.
Yeah.
So of course they make it small but make it mighty, and that's where you get these amazing flavours coming through in Australian bush foods, because for something so small, it can go so well.
Packs a punch.
It does. It's amazing.
So chef comes down here and he comes down and just picks.
Well, the gardeners pick it for the chef. He rings
Okay.
up, orders how
Whatever
much
he
he
wants.
wants and whatever he wants, and
Okay.
of course it makes its way up.
And do you bring other guests around here? And
It's open for everyone, so especially the kids. A lot of the kids that live in the city, they don't get a chance to try fresh herbs, and
yeah,
by the time it gets to the supermarket, it loses that sparkle.
It's got some great flavour. After our tour of the herb garden, Scotty's anxious to get back out there and try for one of those large flathead. We head back up the beach towards the same spot we fished earlier. I can't believe no one else is out here fishing. Not only are the conditions perfect, but the view is simply spectacular.
What I love about staying at the resort is you've got so many great fishing opportunities for land-based anglers. You've got the jetty down behind us, you also got this lovely beach, and at low tide, I tell you what, it's worth wandering along and casting soft plastics or hard bodies. At this time of the year there's flathead. Through the summer months you've a good chance of catching barramundi, fingermark, threadfin salmon and many other tropical species. The thing I love about that jetty, but there's a bar at the end. When the day's done I can wander down and get a cold one. So what Paul and I are doing are just slowly walking along the beach. The drop-off's not far out, probably only 3 or 4 metres out. It sort of drops off into a bit of deeper water. And the flathead are laying right on that edge. The tide's still running out. We're on that last hour of the run out, late in the afternoon. And slowly work your way along, just working soft plastics, or you can use little hard bodies, and sometimes even small poppers might even get a result. So one cast, work that area, take a couple of steps, cast again, and just keep working along the beach.
Where do you put the popper, Matt?
Fish on.
Fish on?
Yeah.
Cool. That's good. Just zipping you up.
Can you grab the rod from under the legs? That'll be right. Handicapping me again.
Oh, yeah, lizard.
Yeah, nice flatty.
Beautiful. Hey, nice fish too. Nice fish. Well done, Scott. Oh, what a beauty! Nice fish, mate. Absolutely beautiful. Wow.
You were right about the kink, Paul.
Yeah. The pink, eh? Maybe I should have put the pink lure on, you bugger. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. He's a good fish. I was just about to pull out a popper and have a go with a popper.
Yeah.
How did the back? You were backpatting you straight on. Made a good lure, mate. I have to get one of those on.
You just be careful handling them. Get those pretty serious spikes on each side of the head. I might let this one go. What do you reckon?
Yeah, just right. That's the lure, mate. Right there. Whoa, there she goes. Well done, mate.
Good stuff, eh?
Well done, Scott.
Excellent job.
Jeez, it was a nice fish, that, Scott, that you just got, mate.
Yeah, a good fish,
Beautiful.
isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, that lure worked. The old pink head on there as well.
Yeah, well, I listened to what you were saying before, and I thought, yeah, dirty water. I thought I'll just sneak one out there with a pink head on, without telling you. And it brought home the results.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it was good.
It's worked
Good
for
fish.
me ages ago down at Lake Conjola,
Yeah.
and we weren't catching any fish, and I just swapped to a pink. And it's quite muddy water like this, and whether it was the pink head, who knows? But all the girls like pink, don't they?
You know, we're just walking along here, working the edges. It's dead low tide. The flathead tend to lay right on that edge, waiting for the bait to move off that edge.
Yeah.
And we're mixing the lures up, just keep changing your lures, and you know, there's the result. It's a nice flathead.
Yeah, beautiful. What a fantastic afternoon. Beach fishing has never felt so relaxing. Soldier crabs, stunning views, and Scotty finally got the flathead he was after. I think it's time we go back and make use of that bar. Check out that sunset. A perfect end to a fantastic day overlooking the great sandy strait. After the break, Kenneth shows us how to give that flathead a little bush tucker flair. Fraser Island is a rich and vibrant place, full of spectacular sights, sounds and flavours. We catch up with Executive Chef Kenneth Clapham, who's going to cook us up two fantastic dishes. Seabell signature Harvey Bay scallops with a homegrown fattoush salad and bush ducker spice, plus our flathead in paper bark with lemon myrtle butter and a rocket and nasturtium salad. So how are you going to cook the scallops today?
The scallops, we're just going to pan sear them, just a tiny little bit of olive oil,
Yep.
a little bit of salt, and,
Yep.
and that's it. Simple, clean.
Fantastic.
They'll only take about a minute to cook, so we'll just put a bit of olive oil in there.
And what sort of things should we be looking for when we're cooking scallops? Should we?
You like them to seal up relatively quickly because there's so much protein in them. They do cook extremely quickly.
Yep.
So we more or less want it pretty high heat so that it'll caramelize a little bit.
Yep.
And then before, that should be pretty
Yeah, it's
good.
looking pretty good.
It should only take about 2 minutes for them to cook. But we definitely don't want to cook them all the way through. It's nice medium,
Yeah. So there's sort of a little bit of opaque in the middle.
definitely opaque. We just need a little bit of colour on them just for that caramelising.
Yeah.
Once that's looking good, we're just going to be serving it with the simple fattoush salad.
Yep.
So more or less just building it on the plate.
Our fattoush salad is traditionally a Middle Eastern pita bread salad. This bush version has cucumber, tomato, diced red onion, and herbs straight from the garden. Mint, coriander, and parsley.
So although the salad is a relatively strong flavour,
Yep.
we're not putting it with the scallops, so you can kind of taste the salad as well as tasting the scallops.
These are looking great, mate.
They're absolutely perfect.
Wow.
Okay, so we're just going to toast off a little bit of flat bread, just get it lightly crisp so that we've got some texture in the actual dish.
Yep.
So we've got our super rich, creamy scallops, a nice full flavoured, simple salad with a little bit of crispy toasted bread to go on top.
Yep.
That won't take much to crisp up.
Once the scallops are done, Kenneth sets them aside to rest for a couple of minutes. Then he plates them up with his homemade bush tomato puree.
We'll just put our scallops across the middle of the plate here.
They look absolutely wonderful. So this is a very simple dish that you could probably do at home as well. Just a little salad thrown on there, nice little entree.
Definitely a nice little entree. The last thing just to finish that off is just our little bit of bush ducker dust, and just put a little bit of lime on the side just in case someone does need the lemon with the seafood.
A little bit of zest.
Yeah, that's a nice simple dish.
So, Next dish.
So now we're going to be doing our paper bark flathead fillets. For this dish, we've got our flathead fillets, we've got our lemon myrtle, we've got our ghee, and underneath we have our paper bark. Underneath the fish, we just put a little bit of ghee.
Yep. And when you say ghee,
Clarified butter with a little bit of oil just to help increase the heat. Yeah. So these are just the nice little tops off the flathead from yesterday.
Yeah, fantastic.
We'll just put them on lightly. 3 will be enough for a serve.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned before, we like to keep things relatively simple. By putting too many flavours into it, you actually lose the beautiful flavour of the actual fish. So just a little bit of a pepper just to help bring it up. A little drizzle of oil. So we just more or less form a little bit of a gondola with that. So as it's roasting in the oven, that'll catch the juice and it will steam back up from underneath. Even though the actual top of the dish will caramelise a little bit, underneath will still be nice and moist. In the restaurant, we normally finish this off through the oven, but for today, in our little Coleman's cooker, just push that down a little bit and a little bit of tin foil. This will basically just roast up quite nicely. There's enough butter and oil in there to create the moisture, and the juices from the fish will actually drop back down into the butter, and it's almost a self-basting dish. So we'll just let that cook for about 10-12 minutes, relatively low temperature, because if we do go too high, we're going to burn the paper bark. So we want a smoky flavour, we don't want a burnt flavour. Okay, so we've got a beautiful garden fresh rocket, a little bit of tomato, a little bit of cucumber, some snow pea julienne, a little bit of shaved fennel, just for a little bit of bite, a tiny little bit of olive oil, bit of a mix.
Lovely.
So we're relying upon freshness and vibrancy from the garden. Nice strong peppery rocket, some beautiful little fresh nasturtium leaves. It'll give it that almost mustardy sort of flavour going through it as well. So this combined with the light smoking of our flathead fillets, along with the lemon myrtle, it's actually a beautiful flavour combination. So we'll just take our foil off now. It's looking good. That is looking extremely good. And so it's a nice user-friendly dish. We've got some moisture floating around in the bottom of it that's come out of the actual fish as it's been cooking. Something as simple as that, our nice little nasturtiums. Just put a little bit of lime on the side. Simply to finish it off, some lightly toasted macadamia nuts sprinkled through there. Once again, a little bit of texture, and then that's ready to go. Bon appetit.
Kenneth has done an incredible job with our flathead and has proven that great cooking does not need to be complex. These dishes are simple, but the flavours pack a punch and truly embody everything that makes Fraser Island great. We've had a great start to our week on Fraser and are excited for what's to come. Join us next week as we journey to the east side. Hey, come with you.
Woohoo! Look at that puppy.
How good's that? Now we got something to cook. Executive chef of, where am I again? Kingfisher Bay Resort. Be a bit more excited, Scott.
That was exciting, wasn't it? That was pretty good.
That was fine.
Shut up, Paul.
Got something about Scotty?
Who's Scotty?
Mark's pissed. He's been drinking since 60.